Well, good morning, boys, girls, friends, enemies, whatever. Another rancid day. Third day of weather like this. Dear God. It's a Saturday. I don't like going out at weekends, but I've got to pop out. One of my viewers, who shall remain nameless, Viper 6, said I should tell some police stories. Well, not too sure about that. A lot of them are pretty tedious. The thing about being a police officer is there are a lot of highs and a few lows. The lows being when you have to go to a sudden death or search for a possible suicide victim who's wandered off. Suicides at home. And accidents. God, bloody heater's warm. Didn't realise how good it was. Let's moderate that a little bit, shall we? Take another log off the fire. I'd forgotten what going from A to B with heat was actually like. It's quite nice actually. Yeah, and then there are good moments. Catching people you've been looking for quite a while. The funny one, or the one for today, is when you're at the roadside doing speed checks. It is necessary, and it is not to raise revenue. That is a load of cobblers. It's a visible deterrent. If the police are about and motorists can see they're about, they tend to behave a lot better. And 80–90% of the people you point the gun at are either doing the speed limit or they suddenly decelerate. Now you can hear that because the laser has an audible tone and it raises and lowers with the speed of the vehicle. So if they're doing slightly above the limit and the tone drops and the speed drops, you just give them a glare as they go past. If they're only slightly above the limit but bordering on a prosecutable level, you might stop them and just give them words of advice. There, naughty naughty boy. But my favourites are the higher speeds and the ones who profess that you were behind a lamppost. Now I used to wear a full reflective jacket. I always had a colleague with me who would also wear a full reflective jacket, and we always stood, or our favourite spot was on a pavement on a long straight road, and there is nowhere to hide. Go on dear, what the bloody hell are you doing? You pulled out. Dear oh dear, I'm not sure they're paying attention. Just clear this silly junction. Yes, now we're visible because of the amount of cars that suddenly see you and slow down. The people who scream you're hiding are the people who just weren't paying any attention whatsoever. Hence the speed, hence them getting stopped. If you're not paying attention, you will get stopped. And top of my favourite on that one is Good evening, sir. Are you aware of the speed limit on this section of the road? Yes. Do you know who I am? Pocketbook comes out. No, sir. But I'm sure as you give me your name and address, I will find out. Even if you do know who they are and they're a judge, yes, I have. Or even a police officer, yes, I have. The do you know who I am? That strikes a chord. Pomposity in extreme. And I rise to that one. Okay. We'll find out who you are. Stopped one car coming up the road one night, only one headlight. And I thought, well, that must be fairly obvious. It's a dark night. So I flagged the car down. It was a lady driving it. Good evening, my love. Any idea why I've stopped you? Now, I always start with that phrase, and you'll see why in a second. But have you any idea why I stopped you? And on this occasion, oh God, is it because I've drunk too much? Well, that's a start. I don't think I'm insured. It's my husband's car. That'll do. 3 for 1. You only book them for one, just to drink drive. You don't bother about no insurance and you know, I mean, enough. You've got to draw the line somewhere. Stopped a lady one night in Aston Martin for speeding, and you asked name, address, date of birth, blah blah, occupation. I said occupation, and she looked at me with a glare and she said, I am a domestic goddess. Never forget her. She looked very embarrassed when it was read out in court, because it was quite a way above the limit. Way above the limit. But it's like, if you stop somebody, you don't ask them if you've had a drink, because they'll all say no. What you got to do is go, good evening, sir. Could I ask, when did you have your last drink? And it's usually half a pint at lunchtime. Even if they're 3 times the limit, they've only had half a pint at lunchtime. People are totally incapable of being honest. So an old boy, couldn't smell any alcohol, but it was a road check. You know, there's 3 or 4 of us, you stop traffic both directions, you check everybody, and you just warn them if they've got a light out, or tell them off, or whatever. No insurance, take their details. Well, I said to this guy, when did you have your last drink, sir? And he must have been about 80. He said, on my 16th birthday. I looked at him, seriously? He said, I got so rat-arsed, it took me 3 days to recover, and I swore never again. And I never have. I don't know what I said. Admiration. Good man. My respect. Off you go. You meet characters. You get the stroppy ones. The other ones, of course, are the ones who know the law, especially the youngsters. I know my rights. Okay. I know the law. You can't do that. Okay. How wrong and how often they can be wrong. There's a little look at some of it. 13 years on, I think I've forgotten a lot. There are certain things stick in your mind. We went to a suicide one day. And you get there, you look to see if there are any suspicious circumstances, see if you can find out why, what. In this case, there was a drawer full of drugs and an empty bottle of vodka. The daughter, young girl, come in the front door. They're the times you really don't like. But dealing with the nice people, I stopped. just remembered this, laugh. There was a group of cyclists, tourists, on the coast road, and it was getting pretty dark. And not one bike had lights on. A young girl, must have been about 8, was obviously the daughter. Cycle helmet, knee pads, lights. Mother and father, no lights, no helmet. So I said, look, this is a fast section of road, it is a dangerous section of road. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to follow you back to your hotel, only about 2 miles down the road. I said, take your time, there's no rush, I'm not going anywhere. So I put the rear reds on, and I just followed them. When we got to the hotel car park, they sort of said, oh, thank you, blah, blah, blah. And I walked up to the little girl and I said, you are the hero. She looked. I said, in the morning, when everybody's woken up, I want you to give these 2 adults a very stern lecture on having appropriately fitted bikes, bells, lights, and a helmet. You set a brilliant example, and I'm proud of you. And I think you need to educate your parents. She beamed, ear to ear. Her parents were stood like, oh, oh, oh. That's it for today. I don't know if it's of interest. Lots of little stories, but they tend to be little ones. And I think the good moments, or the moments you're achieving something for the good of the community, far outweigh the little horrible bits. But the horrible bits you carry with you. The few sudden deaths that I've been to, and body searches, you know, looking for a body, whatever, they stay with you. On that note, you know what to do. Not the day for that. Be good, be happy, piss off the miserable buggers, and ride or drive safe. Bye.